Hey guys, so today I'm going to be answering some of my own made up questions about, relatives, holiday season, questions about eating disorders, food, dieting, all of those things that seem to come up a lot when some people are not as educated in eating disorders and eating disorder recovery. I think my relatives have been pretty good at not kind of bringing up weight gain or weight loss. One thing I think is really helpful if you are an adolescent or even if you're not an adolescent, telling your parents to sort of like not warn them, but kind of tell them that, oh, this is a kind of touchy subject with them and that they might not want you talking about food or dieting or any other thing that might trigger your eating disorder. For some reason, I find that a lot of the diet talk comes over while you're eating, which is very triggering for me, and I know it's very triggering for a lot of other people who suffer with disordered eating. I think one thing you can do is always try to change up the conversation, lead it towards something else that won't be as triggering to you, and something that still kind of makes sense for table topic. Some examples would be you could ask the person who brought it up, be like, oh, hey, I forgot I was going to ask you about work or school or your pets or your kids, and kind of like ask them personally so that their mind kind of switches and they don't keep bringing up touchy subjects. One thing that can be really hard is when relatives bring up weight loss or weight gain. Now, one thing I would recommend do is honestly trying your best to just not respond and not let the conversation keep going. Like I said, changing the subject would be good, but also just smiling and nodding. And I know that can be really hard, and I think changing the subject is one thing, but another thing is, how do I recover from them bringing this kind of thing up that's going to trigger my eating disorder and maybe impact how the rest of the holiday goes? One thing that really helps me is reminding myself that the people who are making these comments are uneducated, most likely uneducated in nutrition and eating disorders. When you have a dietitian, I find it can be helpful to kind of remind yourself what your dietitian has said and kind of compare, like, well, my dietitian who's gone to school and is registered for nutrition says these things to me. So should I really be trusting my relative who just wants to bring up dieting, or should I be trusting my registered dietitian who has gone to college for a very long time? Another thing that can be helpful is also kind of reaching out to some of your other friends who may struggle with disordered eating or friends that you met in treatment and kind of helping to support each other. I know for me personally, sometimes talking to people who you met in treatment can also be triggering as well. I do want to make another video on that, on how to be friends with someone from treatment and not fall back when someone else potentially falls back. Now, one of the hardest things can be if someone points out that you've gained weight. It is helpful to point out that, hey, I did this for my health and now I feel a lot better and a lot stronger. But sometimes relatives just don't buy this, and they can think that, oh, well, you were better skinnier anyway, you were prettier. Another times I've heard a lot of relatives say is, oh, you look so much better now that you've gained weight. And obviously they mean that as a compliment, clearly. But our eating disorders can like take that and tell us that, oh, they're just saying that to make me feel better. They actually think I'm fat. There's a lot of things that our disordered eating can fuck up our brain with. When I was in treatment, we played games at the table. I can make a whole separate video on all of the games that we played in treatment, but it could be helpful if you have conversation cards or something like that to keep the conversation flowing and keep it flowing away from food, body image, diet, anything like that. Alright guys, I know this was a short video. I just wanted to put this out before some of the holidays started. I just think it's important to have as much advice as you can, because sometimes family members are uneducated and they seem like idiots. But we still love them and we still need to reply appropriately. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a happy holidays and I hope you're doing well. If you want to talk at all, my Instagram, TikTok are down below, and you can always comment if you have any questions. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching. Bye.